Good morning,
Hi,
Beth.
Alan.
How are you?
Good
now,
morning.
where are you now? Because you guys travel all over the place.
I am resting at home right now in beautiful Buffalo, New York.
Oh, of course. Good. So you guys, you're in the afternoon. I'm here in California, so we're still kind of in the morning here. But thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining me. I know you got tons of things to do, and when your guys' downtime, more than I could ever understand, it's probably so important. So we'll make this fun and quick for you. But I wanted to start off. Of course, many people want to know is how did Beth Phoenix start out in the WWE? Before that, why wrestling? Because I know you were actually didn't you do wrestling in high school and before you actually got into the pros?
Yes. Why wrestling? I get that. I get asked that question more often than any other question. Well, I was a huge fan growing up from the time I was a little girl. I watched it with my grandmother, so it was something that she got me into. And I joined the boys wrestling team actually in high school. Wanting a competitive edge, number one, I was so into sports and kind of like stepping out of the box and wanting to be better than the rest. And then on top of that, like there was no book written on how to get into professional wrestling. So I just kind of assumed it would be some sort of progression from amateur wrestling on. And so I got into the amateur wrestling world, and it's a completely different kind of sport, but it gave me a great background and an excellent foundation for my performance and the hard work it takes to make it in the pro wrestling ring.
Yeah, I think you probably see it more than maybe other divas, but you get so much respect, not only from the maybe past divas that have been in the WWE, but the internet wrestling fans, which are called like the hardcore wrestling fans. When they hear you come out, whether you're what they call a face or a heel, they love you, and that's got to feel good. That you're got to be one of the most respected WWE divas in today.
Well, it feels awesome, and I think that our WWE universe just recognizes those that are out there that really love this, and I've devoted my whole life to this. I love WWE. I've been, like I said, a fan since I was a little girl. It was my dream to work here, and I've never wanted to be anywhere else. I've never wanted to be anything else. It was my number one dream from the time I was a kid. So I think that our fans can connect with that, and they know that when I go out there, it's not just a magic competition. It's not all about the dollars and cents to me. It's about like I take a lot of pride in what I do out there, and I give my all and give my best. And I think like I said, whether I'm being a villain or a good guy that night, people just kind of respect that I will work as hard as I possibly can. I'll give you everything that I've got.
Talking about, I got to talk about probably when I saw the pay-per-view, probably one of the hardest matches you had to start. Because here you're supposed to be the quote-unquote villain, and you're Night of Champions, you're in Buffalo, New York, they play your music, and the crowd goes nuts. How did you, the second you heard the crowd just pop, what was going through your mind and your body?
Well, the reception in Buffalo is always unbelievable for me. I'm so grateful for that connection and the fans there. They all appreciate me and welcome me home every single time I go. I think it's because, like I said, I'm a hometown girl. I love the connection there. I love the food and the people. And, I graduated from college there. I have so many connections to Buffalo. And, they made me feel wonderful. And the reception there was probably greater for me than anywhere else in the entire world I've ever wrestled. So it was amazing. And on top of that, I had my parents in the front row, my college roommate and my longtime best friend, as well as my other best friend that went to wrestling school with me. So, it was kind of like this full circle moment where, 10 years after stepping foot in the ring for the first time, I got to come home and wrestle for the Divas Championship. It was very, very emotional and very special for me.
Probably, and then some people at home, you're able to kind of, you didn't think I was going to make it, did you? Look at me now.
I wish, I don't have that attitude at all. It's kind of like anybody that did doubt me along the way has kind of come around and patted me on the back and said, good for you. And I don't really even need that approval. All I really wanted in my life is my small circle of friends, my parents. I just wanted them to be proud of me and more so myself. I'm really proud of the fact that Beth Phoenix is a diva that, can represent the company with pride. I feel very confident that I set a good example for young men and women, and I want to continue to do that for not only the company and, our fans, but for myself.
Yeah, and I just want to say when they asked me who would I want to interview, and I just knew I just needed three different ones, and it was Zack Ryder, because everyone's Zack Ryder right now. CM Punk, I've been a long time fan of him, and then you were honestly one of the three that I wanted to pick, because I as soon as I saw you coming out in the WWE, I just thought you could tell the determination. You really wanted to do very well, what you have obviously, and at the same time you've taken a lot of bumps and bruises, because I've seen your Twitter page, and man, there are some things that just look like you went through. You got hit by a truck from some of these matches.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm very flattered, and I appreciate you sharing that company and being able to be in your top three. Thank you. And second of all, that's unfortunately the part of this business that it stinks. I'll be honest, it stinks. There is, no matter how careful you are, how hard you train, or how much you work to protect yourself, accidents happen, bumps and bruises and boo-boos happen, and what separates the boys from the men, the women from the girls, I think, is those that are willing to work through it, tough it out, and survive and come back stronger. And I've been out with a surgery and a couple of surgeries, so I know that's where you prove your mettle. Can you come back? And it's not even like coming back and getting healed. It's like coming back and being better than you were before. That's where the challenge is, and I feel like that's what defines today's superstars and divas is, can you come back when the chips are down? Can you rebuild yourself and start over and be a success once again?
Absolutely. Now I got to ask, so you've been, obviously, you're a huge fan of WWE for, your whole life. Who, when you started getting into, really, through the ranks of WWE, who did you meet? Because I know from people who don't know, a lot of the WWE legends will be behind the scenes. I know, like, Arn Anderson is behind the scenes, and then who was that one, whether they're still in the ring or not, that when you saw him or her, you're like, oh my gosh, this is, so-and-so right in front of me talking to me?
Oh, well, I mean, I'd have to, number one, name Bret Hart, because he was truly a hero of mine growing up. And, I've partnered with his niece,
right,
Natalia, for, quite often. Known Natty, and I've known her father, and I've known their family very closely. But there was still something crazy about meeting Bret. And I remember, going to Florida Championship Wrestling, actually, the WWE Developmental League, and meeting Bret for the first time. And Natty had texted me, Bret's coming in to, work with the students. If you want to come by. It was the first time I got to meet him. And I was starstruck and stunned. And I had like a bunch of questions, I had written down and kind of gone over in my head that I wanted to ask him business questions. And, having to sit down, he had a wonderful conversation with me and a great, it was kind of like the beginning of a great mentoring friendship. And I've been able to stay in contact with him. But I try not to let Natty know this too much, but it still, unnerves me to be like, oh my God, that's the Hitman. Like, no matter how many times I converse with him or, share, advice or comments or whatever, I still like starstruck every time I speak to him. Like, man, I mean, we've text messaged each other once or twice, and on my phone, when it comes up, Bret the Hitman Hart, I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Oh, that is awesome. What a great...
Yeah, like, can you imagine, like, as a 15-year-old, 13-year-old kid, like, Bret Hart is texting you? Like, come on. Like, that's insane. So, I never had that appreciation for those that, inspired me to do this and live my dreams. So I totally appreciate having those sorts of resources at our fingertips in the career that I have now.
And you I think, especially when it comes to the divas, and you really are one of the big reasons why people are getting away from that, but think, divas, they don't get enough, they don't do enough. And then if you really see your guys' matches, when I see you, and then you get Eve Torres doing backflips from the top ropes, I mean, I think all the ladies now are really helping to bring that level of respect up more and more, each day when you guys are out there. And is that what, the divas are trying to do when they get together, behind the scenes? So like, okay, let's really bring it up to the maximum level.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I never am willing to accept, I'm never willing to accept the fact that, okay, well, this is what it is. We made limits in the time that we have to perform or whatever. I just want to take whatever we're given and make the absolute most of it. And I think that, a lot of people grouped, for example, Eve Torres. she was grouped into that, model mold for so long and made to feel like, she's good for looking pretty. But, Eva's a very competitive, hardworking young lady, and I think that, she's proven herself, especially over the last 6 months. And, I mean, even on our WWE live events, you have the opportunity to really see some things that you may not see on the pay-per-views or on our television show. That's why I think coming out to live events is very, very special. And, you're going to see the divas performing at a level that, you may not always get to see on television. So I take a lot of pride in being in the spot where I get to, kind of spearhead that by being a champion and make sure all the girls have the opportunity to, like I said, set the bar higher and higher and higher. And I do the best that I can every night to do that.
And talking about live events, you guys are coming here to not only Northern California, but California altogether. I know you got stops in Sacramento Saturday, Sunday in Oakland, Monday night in you guys will be in Anaheim, and then just across the borderline in Vegas on Tuesday. But I mean, the live events, and I've been to many live events, and it's just something that I think I don't know. It's a little more personal because I think one thing you have to play a little bit more to the television. You gotta, you divide the television and the people response. But with live events, you guys really focus on the crowd.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even at our televisions, every WWE event, we do our best to truly bring the crowd into the emotional aspect of things. I mean, we're there to give them everything that we can, and truly, I think it begins, the live events, because that's where we really get as much one-on-one time as we can with the crowd. And, we have actually stepped up our game on the live events as far as the set goes. If you've been to the house shows in previous years, you may have seen, a limited set. There wasn't like a big, Titantron and the big entrance like we have in our television shows. Well, we've now implemented that into our live events. So now when you come out to our live events, you're going to see basically the same set that you see at television, the big videos, the entrance. I mean, there's going to be advertisements playing for what's coming up in the future with WWE, when we're coming back to your town, these that may be coming up. So the live events are now becoming a product that's really equivalent to what you're going to get at a television taping, and the excitement and lights and everything isn't any less coming to live events than our television products. So it's really become an awesome, awesome show that's great for the whole family, and I'm so proud to have seen it evolve to where it is right now. And when we come to Sacramento, I mean, that's really what we're going to get a chance to display it fully, for all of you guys there.
Yeah, well, I know the buzz here in Sacramento and in all Northern California, they're just super excited. I got a lot of friends and we're going to be going to all the Northern California stops, and we're obviously super excited, and we're also excited about, of course, what people, if they've never seen it on pay-per-view or in person, WrestleMania is coming up. WrestleMania week. I mean, it's just like when that whole week comes together. I describe as a WWE diva. How does it feel to be a part of that week of WrestleMania?
Well, WrestleMania is the one event that we all work for, the entire year. And especially after we announced the main event for WrestleMania literally a year out. So, there's just been so much momentum building and so much excitement for that main event with John Cena and The Rock that, it's the whole company, top to bottom, everywhere in between, is literally, working towards that one day. As a WWE diva, there's so much involved in the week that's more than just the actual show. We have the Hall of Fame ceremony. We just announced that the Rated R Superstar Ed is going to be headlining our Hall of Fame.
Super excited about that.
Super excited about that as well. And then on top of that, we also, as a WWE diva, that means dress shopping, which is super important.
Exactly.
All of us, it's one part of the year we look forward to is kind of like putting on our Sunday's best and going out there and being as glamorous as we all can be. So that's an exciting part for divas. And then there's WrestleMania Fan Access, which is a whole plethora of activities. Every year I've had the fortune to compete in the TH2 Video Game Challenge. And every year I have happened to advance further in the tournament. And last year made it to the semifinals. So this year I'm really, really hoping to make it to the finals and take the competition and become the most crowned #1 TH2 nerd video game queen of the universe. So
do you play the video games? Is that one of your things you do on your downtime?
I sure do, and WWE 12 is pretty awesome. My character is probably the most awesome in the game, but
yeah, I would have to agree with that. I've played the game many times before. My good buddy, I can't have it in my own house because I would never do anything else but play WWE 12. But that's awesome. I mean, that's got to be fun to. I mean, because I went last year to my first WrestleMania in Atlanta. And I got to go to the fan access, and I went to the Hall of Fame. And I mean, just for all my listeners and viewers out there, I'm telling you right now, whether you're kind of on the border about wrestling or not, if you see the spectacle that is a live WWE entertainment, is beautiful. But to sit there in the stands and watch, The Rock come out, to start off WrestleMania. I mean, there's no other thing like it, especially when you got 76,000 people in one building watching, watching these men and women, just go at it. It's always fun.
Oh yeah, I mean it's literally the biggest spectacle of the year. Like I said, it's a year-long process to get this set up, and I mean we'll announce for the next WrestleMania, is a year out in advance as well. And ticket sales always sell out every year in a matter of minutes. And I mean it's just such a big event for us all. And and last year, like you said, The Rock was involved. I mean we had celebrities involved. Every single year, it's always something super special. And this year, on top of that, we have that main event that's gonna trump it all. And I mean, who can deny The Undertaker? I mean, 19-0. Anybody that was there and witnessed that, I challenge you to find a more incredible moment on the show than watching The Undertaker's entrance and watching that pyro go off with the 19-0. Like, it was incredible.
Oh, it was awesome.
We're all looking forward to what WrestleMania this year brings and the Hall of Fame. Like I said, it'll be awesome to see the Radar Superstar go in. He surely deserves it. He's someone that everybody has worked with and respects so much. And I'm looking forward to wearing a super fancy dress and enjoying the whole thing.
Yeah, of course. It's you guys' prom. It's like prom. You get that one day to show off your stuff.
It is just like prom. When you see the process of the hair and the makeup, everything that goes into Hall of Fame, it's pretty unbelievable.
That's awesome. Well, I got a few more questions left. I know we're going to get going, but I got to ask about, I got to put you on the spot. Who do you think the main event, WrestleMania, I mean, these are two of the biggest names in WWE and even in entertainment world altogether. They're going to be finally coming together. If you had to put you on the spot, and this is going to be hard, who do you pick?
Oh, so you want me to call a winner?
Yeah.
Cena and The Rock. Oh, man. It's so tough. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like, people want to write off The Rock and say he rode off into the sunset and, took on his Hollywood career. But, I mean, he came back to Survivor Series and absolutely killed it. I think that the hardest thing was, like, he has so many haters and so many detractors. Everybody wants to say you're a sellout and, you're coming back just for this one event, blah, blah, blah. But, man, The Rock sure came back better than ever. So, he's got all the going for him. But on the other hand, you do have the heart and the desire of John Cena, who, champion or not, is there every single night. I see it every single night, him giving his all and really, truly loving this business with all of his heart and soul. So, I mean, it's such a tough choice, but I'm going to have to go with John Cena just because when the chips are down, he seems to always pull one out. So I'm going to go with John. But, like I said, it's so close because The Rock sure looked like $1 million and really shut everybody up when he showed up at Survivor Series. So, I mean, I'm going to be, sitting there up in the stands watching it just like everybody else. So I'm looking forward to seeing that performance. I'm sure, no pun intended, it's going to be electric.
Exactly. And then my last question, I get this a lot because I get to work with a lot of the small promotions, and I know you did the same thing too. You went through the smaller promotions to kind of get where you're at now. You didn't just show up to the WWE and say, all right, here you go, here's everything for you. These small promotions, when they know I get to talk to WWE superstars and divas, what recommendation, if you could think of one thing, man, if I would have known this then, it would have made my path a little bit easier to, the WWE. What do you have recommendations? If you hear these young ladies who are just starting out and they go, I really want to become a WWE diva, what recommendations or tips would you give them?
Oh, shucks. Where do I begin? How many hours do you have? Well, I would say, first of all, the advice I give all young women that come up to me and say, I want to be a diva, first thing I tell them is get your education.
Yeah.
Go to college first. That's what I did. My parents were not happy about the fact that I was like, I want to be a wrestler right from day one. So, the agreement we made was like go to college, and that was the best advice I ever got because it's super duper duper hard to be successful, and number two, it's really like something that you just cannot predict the risk factor. Like you could get injured permanently that will put you out, in a way that you wouldn't expect. I mean, I had a serious injury. Who would have thought I would break my face 5 weeks into starting, on Raw? It was like a bizarre thing that's been slapped 1,000 times, and you just never know. So with an education, you have a secure background. And number two, the best advice I can give anybody wanting to make it in this business is don't accept no for an answer. I can't tell you how many times I was told no, you don't have what it takes, you suck, you don't fit the mold. I mean, I could write a book with all the names that everybody said that I could make it. But if you just don't accept no for an answer, you'll make your way, and it probably won't be simple or easy, but you'll have a lot of life experience from the mistakes that you make, and come out a better person and a better performer because of it.
Absolutely. Well, Beth, I want to thank you so much for joining me on my podcast here. I know a lot of people are going to be excited that WWE is coming in through Northern California this weekend and early parts of February. So just WWE.com for anybody who wants to look for any of the listings. Ticket prices are great, and I'm telling you right now, if you spend the money to go to these house shows, it's just a beautiful and fun time. It's action-packed. I know you're on the Twitter. I know you do a lot of tweeting there. What's your handle? How can people find you?
My handle is at Beth Phoenix on Twitter. I tweet every day, and I am very active in Twitterland. So I just also want to mention to encourage everybody to come out to, especially the Sacramento show. And, we really want to put forward our main event, which is awesome. We're going to see Dolph Ziggler taking on CM Punk for the WWE Championship. And it's kind of cool to see, even on a villainous side, to see Dolph Ziggler get an opportunity because he's a guy that's super hungry and really been wanting an opportunity and has earned that. So
I agree.
Really
absolutely agree. He and it's just, I think really the WWE is taking that turn where you get a lot of the, including yourself, is the young talent that are coming up, and I mean they can, they're great on the mic and they're great in the ring, obviously.
Fantastic. And, I mean, you're going to see Eric Boone take on Primo and Epico. You're going to see Miz versus the Truth in a grudge match. And you're going to see, of course, the Divas Championship match with myself versus E. Torres. But if all that can't bring your butt out to the Power Balance Pavilion, please do not miss Chris Jericho's special appearance with, get this, hang on, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Now you got to get the edge of my seat.
With light up, sparkly jacket.
Uh-oh.
I mean, if that's not worth the price of the price of admission alone, I don't know what is.
The sparkly jacket that we see on TV will be in Sacramento.
The sparkly jacket will be there live and in person, and it will be wearing Chris Jericho.
That's good.
And like I said, Y2J is an incredible personality. We're so glad to have him back. And if there's anybody that brings something special to the show, it's Y2J.
Yeah. Well, it's just going to be an awesome time. I know in Northern California are super excited to have the WWE in our area, and I'm excited. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to let you go. I think I heard a dog in the background. I think it's time to take him or her outside, and I got a dog too that's probably looking at me. I have her in the other room. I'm going to do the same thing. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and then we'll see you in Northern California.